Hello and welcome back to the dungeon in Pillars of Eternity. Which dungeon, you may be asking? Tower level 2.
Right. Let's see what lies this way.
That looks like a fancy ring. Freedom and Pierce Proof, what does that mean? +1 intellect grants arcane dampener. What is arcane dampener? It won't tell us. I guess Aloth can use that. And a letter from Acantha. Aldhelm, I did indeed receive your recent summons, as well as the two that came before it. I had been waiting for you to present yourself on my doorstep so that I could give you my answer in person, a firm, unwavering no. I won't help you. In fact, I relish the idea of you and your team of glorified engineers sitting in that tower, sweating over the runes I've studied for years. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than knowing that my research, which you've long disparaged, is the missing piece in your mundane little puzzle. As you well know, it's knowledge I've always valued. I'm just around the corner. I encourage you to find me should you wish to rehash this conversation in person. Yours truly, Icantha and Aldhelm. I guess it's time to go down. I think I'm gonna... Oh, I've been down here. Going back up. But before we do, let's take a look at that. Currently, he's using a nice protection ring and the bartender's ring. I guess he could swap out the bartender's ring. Now let's see what that does.
How may I help?
I don't see any arcane veil, so I guess it didn't work. Let's try it with... Let me see about this ring again. It doesn't say if it's class restricted.
On your word.
Arcane dampener. That does sound like a wizard spell. Maybe it will reveal
Yes?
itself during combat? I guess it doesn't. Let's see what the character sheet says. The bramble ring is suppressed. Okay, so I guess it's not working. If it's suppressed, I guess it's just not working. I don't know, maybe that's a bug. So we have to go up this bad boy.
Sure.
I'm questioning the sanity of not resting before we... But it hasn't been very difficult so far. Saving. I don't know why it takes a long time to save.
Still nothing. Confounded device.
So that's Aldhelm. Did he do something wrong? Besides piss off this other guy? Let's talk to him. Aldhelm. A man hunches over the strange mechanism, his spine a sharp ridge rising from his arched back. He's barely clothed in rags, in filthy rags, and the patches of skin you see are mottled green. A spoiled stench emanates from him. He's so intent on his work that he doesn't notice you until your shadow falls over him. When he turns and sees you, he snarls and scuttles back to behind the Adra pedestal. Only his bared teeth seem to have escaped decay. His eyes are yellowed and bloodshot, but they flicker with intelligence. He averts his gaze and holds a hand in front of his face.
Shouldn't be here. What do you want?
Tell me what happened here.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He smashes a fist into the Adra pillar. His hand makes a crunching noise, but doesn't bleed. Ooh.
Forgive me. Forgive me. Research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from gods. It hardly matters now.
Aloth's lips twist in disgust. If I had a copper skate for every fool animancer whose thirst for knowledge led to a disaster, well, I never would have ended up in Gilded Vale, that's for sure. When did this disaster start?
Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning, we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start?
As exciting as the prospect of a living machine may be, I suspect that, given mention of a machine and a masked figure both, there is another explanation.
Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar, clinging to rotting meat.
Slow down. What does this machine do with souls?
No time to slow down. But I can explain. Hold a magnet over iron splinters and they stick, yes? Rub your hand over weir wool and the hair of your head will follow it. So it is with this machine.
He looks at you and runs his tongue along the edges of his fine, strong teeth. He quickly looks away.
It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfoth? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk.
There was a stranger in the tower the night this happened?
I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely.
So this is a Be Awake. I guess we're learning what this machine's capable of. You're not like the gulls in the street.
Not yet. But I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. Until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster.
Herabius growls and his hands ball into fists. To think, my clan has the temerity to accuse me of being a soul-rending beast when an actual such monster walks the face of Waretha.
You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance.
What happened to the rest of your team?
By the time I realized what had happened, the district had already been sealed. So we fed when we needed, and locked ourselves in the tower to work. And then there came a time when the hunger struck, and there was hardly anyone left.
How can I help?
Not your help I need. It's Harridan Shrew. Squanders her research on frivolities, then refuses to make herself useful. Runes! The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Acantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls.
Release your souls. Wait, runes? The Anguithan runes? She can read them? He speaks of this feat so blandly. Let's talk instead of this Harridan Gradius. I'd pick her thoughts a time. She wasn't here the nights the machines came on. Staying with her patron somewhere near. Too good to be burdened with our ignorant company. Okay, Icantha. I guess I'll get the words from Icantha.
Yes. Acantha. She was here. In the district. Probably here still. Always prepared. Clever lady, that one. and perhaps you'll bring me something. Something to keep me sharp. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong.
Will he help Durance? Oh, will he accept Durance? I don't know if he'll accept Durance. What is that supposed to mean? Will he accept Durance? A jagged Adra pillar rises in front of you, encased in stonework and run through with copper veins. Unintelligible runes cover the panel. Inspect the machine. A sunburst of copper filaments surrounds a dial that looks to be about twice the size of a hen's egg. The filaments cross and diverge, ending in bead-tipped nodes. Each wire has a point of origin somewhere along the edge of the dial. Runes are inscribed around the dial. I think we should leave the machine. I'm not gonna fuck with this machine. Standing near the device feels like being blown about by a stormy gale. The stone steps hum with energy. Let's inspect this place.
Keeping quiet.
Okay, where are we gonna find Idra? Let's read what the journal has to say. Um, hmm. Find Acantha. I need to speak with Acantha in Heritage Hill. She apparently knows something important about the tower, which may be my key to understanding the Leaden Key's objectives. That would explain why the Acolyte was worried about this woman. Aldhelm, the devoting animancer atop the tower, promised to show me a way to strengthen myself if I get the command words from Acantha and a source of sustenance for him. Okay, Tina just finished escorting Galfol the Drunkard. Okay, so this guy's in our prison. And Bright Hollow Hearth will be completed in 14 hours. A winding staircase runs through the core of the tower, providing access to all levels. Go down one level. Now go to the bottom. I like that. Provides a quicker route, a quicker exit out of the building. I think we want to go to Heritage Hill.
Steady does it.
Looks like we explored the whole area. Oh, she must be in this house right there. I'm glad we didn't kill her. Maybe she'll have more to say to us this time.
You return. What if you come seeking this time?
I need the words that operate the Angwithan machine in the tower, the Bewick.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is.
You feel a hot core of pride smoldering at the center of her soul.
He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning.
I don't think she cares about the problems in Heritage Hill. Humble Aldheim now by demonstrating the value of your research. My silence demonstrates this more succinctly. Your words fan the strange coals at the center of her soul. Oh, that's nice. Is that a good thing? Tell me the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Dyrwood, are relays, built to move souls.
Okay. Where would they move souls?
Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them, like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know.
Why would Angwithans have wanted to tether souls like this?
Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Angwithans as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment.
Who do the Angwithans worship again? I forgot. You seem to know a lot about Ter Nuneth.
I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely.
How do you operate the machine atop Ter Nuneth?
Back to these tinkers' concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I'd release them.
So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless.
What could possibly be more meaningless in existence than their current predicament? Maybe not even Whale knows what would become of them. Typo. But I'd be wrong not to give the souls a chance to leave their prison. Acantha, I could help you, but I won't. The pride lodged in her soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. Here, I have specimens aplenty and time enough to observe them all. It's every scientist's dream. My answer is no. What? But what good is observing all this if you're going to hoard it for yourself? Tell her, Gradius, an entire language at your fingertips, and she hides it away. Extinguish Ingwitha's pride. Can I do that? Yeah, let's try it. The vampire doesn't seem to notice as you wrap your mind around the squalling, burning mass. However, it sears your very bones. You jump back, crying out in pain. I won't abandon this opportunity. These souls will remain here with me, and I'll accomplish more than any nanomancer in the history of the field. And who will know about it? The pride thing flickers as the flames around it abate. All I've learned, years of studying the Ingwithan language, no one understands it better than me. That counts for something. Knowledge is meaningless unless it's shared. A foolish and false sentiment. Knowledge is meaning. It needs no external purpose. Her pride smolders still. Your opportunities here are finite. One day that knowledge will die with you. The pride hisses and sputters. It's little more than an ember now. You're wrong, but there's no conviction in her voice. I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. Extinguish Acantha's pride. You reach for it, but still too hot to grasp in your mind for more than a second. It may not be much, but it's still something. You can't take that away from me. Okay. Teach me what you know. I'll make sure it grows and your legacy lives on. Your words finally quench her pride, and all that remains is a blackened diamond-hard rock. You cast it away where it melts into the darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need.
Her cold, dry fingertips rest on your temples, and you feel her reaching into your mind, forming images from the darkness. Runes flash through your head, but they're no longer just pictures. They have meaning, and you understand them. They're commands. Something triggers in your mind, a distant memory unearthed from a past life, long since buried. You can see a vast array of runes, far more than Acantha has shown you, and you know their sound and their meaning and how they fit together. The language of Engwith once more at your command.
Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge, then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
A speaker of dead tongues now, and so he surpasses 100 frustrated scholars in the matter of a few moments. I don't suppose you could look at a few books for me. What do I do with the tower now that I have these words?
Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
We can destroy. Souls can be destroyed? I don't know. Destroying it seems like it might do this place some good. Explain how the control words work. Harnessing the power of Ter Nuneth is about understanding what it was designed to do. You know the words and their meanings. You can speak them and the tower shall obey. Okay, bye. Let's go back. In our next episode, we'll go back See you then.